I think Lio, I think anybody who does this hunting as their main thing, I think that it's kind of sus, you know? I don't know. I don't think anything good comes from it. And who's gonna be most attracted to hunter communities? Kids and, like, let's be real, you know?
Yeah, they're sitting in the other chat over there, right?
Hi, Crimson. How's it going? Amateur hunter is yeah, here's the thing. If Chris Hansen couldn't get it right, why the would I trust some YouTube random to get it right? Chris Hansen notoriously, like, very recently up an investigation where his producers didn't send evidence to the FBI. It was sitting on their desk for like months. Like, if Chris Hansen, the most infamous hunter or content creator, whatever, can't get an investigation right, can up an investigation, I certainly do not trust any YouTuber who claims to do this. There's two different Senate offshoots, Supreme Court and Guac Barrel. Yeah, I'm in the Supreme Court. It doesn't seem like it's very active. Though I could just be restricted or something. Dang, should I call the cops or DM a toy maker? Good question, Pocket Burst. Really predatory that their fan base or content focused videos have been mostly vulnerable teens who believe they can trust these adults and feel safe and get their justice. To get their justice, I'm assuming is what you're saying. Yeah. It's teaching how to be better at it and harder for the justice system to press charges. Yeah, in certain cases it can up any chance of certain evidence being admitted. He told the victim to send it to them. This is regarding Chris Hansen. Completely neglecting to let her know she can send it to the FBI directly. They also copied its contents, making it inadmissible in court. That's such a big up for Chris Hansen. Prepare yourself, Star. This is going to be just as bad as Rosa's call. Really? In Beckett's stream, we went through Lio's leaked script and discovered they bullied a guy so much he had a shotgun in his mouth. They had to take him out of ending it in Minecraft. Jesus Christ, dude.
Right now, I'm pretty sure.
You hear us?
Yes.
Why is everybody so doggone quiet lately? Okay, so a year and a half ago, when Vida came to us about saying that Vida was talking to her. That's what we're talking about, right?
I believe so, yes.
Can you please sit closer to your mic?
I'm sorry. I'm like right next to my mic.
Oh, is this person like using a voice changer, I guess, to kind of like make themselves disguised, I guess? I think that's what they're doing, right? Just finished making risotto. I'm ready for the drama. Hell yeah. Okay, I might open Stardew while we're listening to this.
Is there something wrong with my connection? If you can, if not, raise your voice.
Yeah, I turned up my input a bit, if that helps.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I just got a new mic. So.
how did you get all these logs?
Oh, Stardust, this is the video without Jibz's input. I sent you the one where Jibz explains their side in DMs. Okay. Okay, let me pull that up. Stars Peaches edited it so people didn't recognize Jibz's voice. It was posted without Jibz's consent at first. Damn. Okay.
I'm going to preface this video saying that I shouldn't have had to even make this video, as Hopeless Peaches, Lumi, and Cosmic had absolutely no right bringing this to the forefront. It completely disgusts me in every single way that they felt that they had the right to do such thing. This video is going to be very quick, but it is absolutely necessary. A friend of mine...
What is this comment say? I'd be so mad at Serafina if she snitched on me to a dude known for yelling and insulting. Damn. Lumi, the same Lumi Poppy's beefing with right now? I think they're different. I don't know. Lio didn't know that grooming victims still seek validation and attention from their groomer. Shaking my head. Yeah. How do you feel about Lio constantly trying to victim blame Jordan? I think it's pretty gross, honestly. This is the only bit where I speak. The rest is Jibz. I was just prefacing all of this, and it's a different Lumi. Okay. What's the thing about Queen Serafina absent today? What was that about? He sure knows jack about how victims of abuse behave. Yeah. No, look, we can go over it, but there are plenty of resources online if you truly want to help victims of, like, especially like online crime, like predation, sexual exploitation online. There are resources, right? NECMEC has, you know, resource here. Serafina ratted Jibz out to Lio and them, I think, when they said that they went back to the groomer as a rebound. Damn. Yeah. So yeah, this is like NECMEC. NECMEC has courses you can take online. And it's pretty wild. Like, they have 8 different courses you can take. Not even 8. Sorry, way more than 8. What's 3 times 8, guys? Legislation, legal issues and considerations, digital and social media relations, community-based multidisciplinary response, 24 different courses. Introduction to trafficking, understanding CSAM and its impacts. I mean, like, there's so many courses you can take online. And Lio did not even know that this exists, you know? Lio is a hunter and he didn't even know that this existed. There's also UNICEF. Let me see what the classes on UNICEF are. Also, aren't these free? Yes, they are free. They're free. I'm not sure if Serafina is friends with Lio, but she and Jibz made up. Okay. Yeah, no, when somebody goes back to like an abuser or a groomer, the reaction is not to like yell at them. It's to like be compassionate, be empathetic towards them, you know? Can't stay, just came to say Stardust is my favorite of Destiny's employees. I'm not an employee. Wow, okay. I just sometimes pop up in the same spaces. I'm like a distant orbiter, if even that. After the Adapt Eye database video, I'm side-eyeing her. Someone should send this to Endo. Well, isn't Endo doing Hunter content now too? It's pretty. You think Lio would research this before getting involved, but that is ultimately not surprising to me at all. Well, I'm willing to bet that Mama Max and all these other people don't do it either. Wait, Stardust, did I send you the Google Doc? What Google Doc? I'd have to look on UNICEF, but NECMEC has stuff that people can use, you know? And so they should, you know, they should try using this. It's free. It's completely free. All of these courses. So. Well, I heard that Endo was doing some predator hunting content, weren't they? I don't know. Back to video, please. Sorry. Okay, let's start from the beginning, okay?
I'm going to preface this video saying that I shouldn't have had to even make this video, as Hopeless Peaches, Lumi, and Cosmic had absolutely no right
night,
bringing
Eureka.
this to the forefront. It completely disgusts me in every single way that they felt that they had the right to do such thing. This video is going to be very quick, but it is absolutely necessary. A friend of mine, known as Jibz, has had their story talked about and exposed without their permission as a gotcha against Lio. They had their story weaponized. This has been done by Hopeless Peaches, Lumi, and Cosmic. In this video, there's a few things that Jibz would like to make clear, and I would like to provide some context before handing the stage over to them. For context, Jibz confessed to Queen Serafina that they were still in contact with their groomer and handed over a person's Discord tag to them. Jibz to
Oh my god, John, Endo needs to go to school for vet tech. She knows how dogs think after. Wow. Wow.
this day heavily regrets this in every single way.
This video was made within 23 hours of them leaking Jibz' leak without their permission, hence why I had to preface all of it. It was a mess. Damn. Damn.
Now,
Sorry, Crystal.
as many CSA survivors would understand, it's hard to make that disconnection from your groomer. As you may know, this is the effect that grooming has on people. Groomers will make you reliant on them, making you feel that you're nothing without them. This is easy to understand if you yourself are a victim of grooming. Lio and everyone else within this call did not give Jibz this understanding at the time. When this was told to Queen Serafina, Jibz was brought into a call with Lio, Queen Serafina, Hopeless Peaches, and many other Senate mods. In this call, Jibz was verbally abused, victim blamed, victim shamed. It was presented with footnotes from Lumi, Hopeless Peaches, and Cosmic. They got information wrong, misconstrued a lot of facts, and outright added allegations which are not true. They also dragged and presented personal information about Jibz' family which isn't true in any degree. They had absolutely no right to release this video.
I would like to preface this with the fact that I was never reached out to by any of the people who released this information. This was done without my consent, and if I had been reached out to, I would have said no, as many people who I have spoken with about this topic are aware of. Also, my pronouns currently are he, they, and my pronouns at the time of this call were they, them. She, her is used in this call to refer to me, which is not correct, but was also not malicious or intentional. And due to that fact, I'm not okay with people using this to claim transphobia. On top of that,
Good point. Good point.
before we dive into this call, I would like to provide some much needed context. What happened was that I had kept contact with Vida secretly, and during this time, Vida requested that I give him the Discord information of an individual who was a minor at the time so that they could chat, and I gave it to him. I do not stand by my actions from then, and I think that is clear in the fact that I had confessed all of this rather than keeping it hidden, and I did take actions after what I did to have contact between this individual and Vida cut off. Once I confessed to this in a DM with Queen Serafina, I was told there would be a call. This was that call.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, let me just rewind just a little bit. I'm gonna put closed captions on. So I just wanna...
Actions from that time, Vida requested that I give him the Discord information of an individual who was a minor at the time so that they could chat, and I gave it to him. I do not stand by my actions from then, and I think that is clear in the fact that I had confessed all of this rather than keeping it hidden, and I did take actions after what I did to have contact between this individual and Vida cut off.
Okay, so this is regarding Vida.
Once I confessed to this in a DM with Queen Serafina, I was told there would be a call. This was that
Wow.
call.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's not the best actions from Jibz. It's not the best actions from Jibz, but yeah, at least he's holding himself accountable at the very least, right? So yeah. He's not writing it off like, oh, like somebody we know, I was a kid, so yeah. Wasn't Vida one of the ones present when Lio suggested the other victim to record their essay? Yes.
a year and a half ago, when Vida came to us about saying that Vida was talking to her. That's what we're talking about, right?
I believe so, yes.
Can you please sit closer to your mic?
I'm sorry. I'm like right next to my mic.
Guess there's something wrong with my connection. If you can, if not, raise your voice.
Yeah, I turned up my input a bit, if that helps.
There you go.
Something I didn't make clear enough is that the footnotes are made by Peaches and not me. I somewhat explained it with them being wrong, but just making that clear. Okay. Hey, y'all, don't forget to like the stream. 148 concurrent and only 60 likes. Shaking my head. True! Guys, please press the like button on this YouTube stream. It helps boost me in the algorithm, and it's completely free. And then, if you want to go the extra step, a great way to help me continue making content is to become a member on YouTube or become a subscriber on Twitch. I greatly appreciate it. So, John, Endo, stop using all our flea and tick shampoo. Jesus. I just realized, is this what Lio meant by docs giving someone's Discord username? I don't know. I have no idea. Hi, Jakebreaker. How's it going?
Go.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I just got a new mic. So
how did you get all these logs?
I had an alt account I used back then to speak with Vida.
So a year and a half ago, you were still speaking with Vida.
Yes.
Why?
I think I didn't want
Hi, SFO.
to do the work to have to cut him off. I didn't want to have to deal with that.
Even though we had
I
a very
guess-
long call with you and Sarah about it, you still kept talking to him even after that.
Yes.
Even after we told you if we found out you were doing it again, we'd have to contact your family.
Yes.
You want to explain to me exactly what is so valuable about Vida that was important to do?
I'm not exactly sure now.
There you are.
Wait, I'm so confused. Where was this energy from Lio towards Endo? For Endo being in a server still trying to go after Necopon, still trying to keep track of them. Isn't that unhealthy? I can turn this down a bit more if you guys want. If you run out of content tonight, I sent you my newest vid if you want to react. No pressure, of course. Thanks, SFO. I saw. I will definitely... Either I'll take a look on stream or off. For sure. Zaj says, holy f***, what? What? Wait, did something happen? The saddest part of these Senate members control the narrative by keeping their whole stream calls to themselves and only present snippets where they look good. I still say Jibz' call is as bad as Rosa's. Let's not forget Rosa is also bisexual, but in that call, people deny that and say she wanted token friends because Rosa wanted LGBT friends to not be alone. Crazy. Wait, Bowser! I've noticed, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I've noticed he always has a notable hatred with women or trans people, whether it be insulting Rosa, threatening to fight Jordan, and how he treats Jibz. Yeah, If you do that again, we'll have to contact your family. Is so cringe. Yeah, it's very cringe. Yeah. Guys, I think I got doxxed. Wait, how, Zaj? What's going on? How? What happened? I don't know. I got a message about DoorDash. That's strange. Are you getting pizza bombed? I don't own DoorDash, guys. Oh, geez. Might be spam. Yeah, it might be spam. Just keep us updated, Zaj, okay? Just keep us updated. I'll call your family, but Lio, I'm a good lapdog. Don't hurt me, lion man. Rub my belly. Jeez, dude. Yeah, there's no, where's the attitude? Where was this for Endo trying to be in contact with Nekopon or trying to follow Nekopon in different servers? Like, that's unhealthy. Wait, what did John say? What we just read? Okay, yeah. Trust me, the call gets a lot worse. Okay. Jeez, dude.
There you are. There's no way you didn't weigh this. I'm sorry, but there's no way.
Just
No
keep us
way.
updated, Sag, okay? Hope everything's fine with you, okay? Is it from like a normal number or a weird number?
Because you know that your family's garbage. You know they'd probably hurt you if this happened. So you had a thought process, and I'm not going to sit here and allow
Wait, what? You know your family's garbage. You know they'd probably hurt you if they found out. Wait, they'd hurt you? Lio previously stated he would call their parents as a threat, and here's proof. Lio knew that it would result in physical violence done towards his victim. Okay, that's not a good tactic whatsoever in dealing with somebody who's going back to a groomer. Do you think the victim is going to be more likely to go to the groomer who's probably giving them the affection that they want, or go to this person who is threatening to get their parents involved, who's probably going to do violence? That's wild. That's wild. Both these calls invalidate Jibz and Rosa's sexualities and get extremely sexually graphic with both of them. I really don't think a guy with anger problems who gets weirdly sexual when it comes to talking down to vulnerable people should be hunting, but that's just my opinion. I tend to agree with you. Yeah, this is a threat. So Lio yet again threatening to tell someone's family something knowing that the person could/would get abused. Super loving, accepting Christian man here. Yeah, that's wild.
you to lie to me. I already allowed that enough plenty, apparently. You're going to tell me the reason.
Within the call, there was a common tactic used where LioConvoy would provoke the idea of contacting my family as a looming threat throughout the whole time when he was dealing with my case. The idea was that if I stepped out of line by contacting Vida, my parents would be contacted and told about it. While I understand the sentiment behind this, he knew I had a complicated relationship with my parents. He knew that things at home were difficult at the time for me, and that did not stop him from claiming he would contact them. So the fact that he was willing to potentially put me at risk scared me at the time. To add on to this, there was a claim made within the video where they said that my parents
It's so weird to threaten victims. Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird.
were physically abusive to me. This isn't true. I suffered from emotional abuse and medical neglect, but not physical abuse. Again, Lio was fully aware of this at the time as well.
Did you like the attention? Is that what is it? Like the foundation he gave?
That was probably it, I'm pretty sure.
How old were you when that happened?
17.
You were still a minor.
Yes.
When did you actually cut him off?
A common theme with my experience is that any time I would relapse to my abuser at the time, Vida, it was held against me. They accused me of only doing this for attention and that I had malicious intentions, when I wasn't and didn't. I acknowledge that this was a betrayal of trust, and for that I have repeatedly apologized. But to frame it as anything more than a victim relapsing into old behaviors is untrue. I was trying to escape, but as a victim of abuse, it's so hard to break that cycle. It's something you need to rip apart bit by bit, and it's not going to go perfectly the first time, or even the second. A groomer is like a parasite. They build up your trust, isolate you from everyone else, and force you to be reliant on them so that you'll never leave. It's such a horrible.
That's super true. The worst thing is this behavior could make victims more dependent on their abuser. Yeah, if your only affection that you're getting, the only positive reinforcement you're getting is from your groomer or from your abuser, why the f would you go to somebody like Lio? Are you kidding me? Yeah, no, this is really
horrible cycle that's very hard to escape. A key difference I did notice, and the fear that I had with this information coming to light, though, was the reason behind the fear was different per person. With Queen Serafina, I was scared of her being disappointed in me for not being honest with her. But with Lio, I was scared of my parents being called. I was scared of him shouting, berating, and shaming me. And my fear was repeatedly justified as everything other than my parents being called happened.
I believe it was a day or so before I turned 18.
What was the final straw?
I don't remember exactly.
I'm not buying that. Not today. You've lied to me plenty of times. You sat there and thrown my trust in the garbage, so you're going to give me a doggone answer. I am not going to accept I don't know and I don't remember. I am not stupid, and you will not treat me like I am. Answer.
I know, I am just genuinely trying to remember some pieces of it. I tried to
Why don't you go to the logs and figure it out, since you clearly have them?
The logs on my alt account only go for so long because then it was no longer on Discord, it was on the message, and I completely deleted everything off of iMessage, and it's been over 40 days, so I cannot recover those.
So you can't remember why you cut off this child predator? Yet for the life of you remember.
I don't remember what the exact last straw was or exactly why I did it, the exact day I did.
When did you turn 18?
March 1st last year.
Of last year?
Yes.
So from your 17th to your 18th, you were still talking to this guy, sitting in this server, knowing full well you shouldn't have been doing it.
Yes.
Why'd you bring this up today?
The reason I struggled to answer the question within the call is that there wasn't a particular defining event that I could pinpoint. The most I could do, now that I've reflected on things, is draw parallels to when I turned 18, as that was symbolic for me. I wanted to turn over a new leaf, start anew, and be better. So, being asked this question felt unfair because I couldn't give a specific answer at the time, given the pressure, the shame I felt, and the fear I had. It makes sense why I couldn't find the right words in that moment, especially with all the eyes watching me and expecting a quick, clear answer. I would like to say that most of the people here have apologized to me for how they conducted themselves within the extended version of the call. There's some cut content within this call, and I will be attempting to find it as I plan to make another reply, hopefully down the line. However, there's a list of people such as Busy Robot Hands, Queen Serafina, Baiji, as well as some who weren't even present for the call like Drunkle and Monstrous, who I don't think should be dragged into this. These people have not only apologized in the past, but have also repeatedly been there to support and check in on me over time.
Feeling really awful about it for a while after watching the release.
Yes, you do. You do. No, you've been lying to me this whole time. Bruh, someone please punch this guy in the forehead. Yeah. Wow, like it's hard to escape your abuser. Yeah, seriously. This is like, again, maybe if Lio had done some research before he did this, he would have known better, right? I mean, oh my god, the amount of stuff that there is available for people. Let me see if I can pull something. There's just a second. I think my Stardew came up. Sorry, just a second. Sorry, guys. There's so many resources. There's so many resources. There's support, again, on NECMEC. Do you have a missing or sexually exploited child? Were you missing or sexually abused as a child? We're here to help. And then this is basically, they give support. They here to assist families of missing or exploited children, as well as adult survivors of certain types of sexual abuse, abduction, or other missing cases. There's so much out there. Victims and family support. Like, there's this as well. Victim and family support, like resources. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's crazy for him to talk this way to somebody. Hey, it's Barbie in the chat. Such an easy way to educate yourself and know to not chase predators. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. If he'd done like the minimal amount of research on this, he would have known better to not talk this way to somebody. Victim support, that doesn't involve yelling at people though. I know. There's literally so many resources. Discord servers should be the last place you go to if you're a victim. Well, you know, this person, Jibz wouldn't know, right? Jibz wouldn't know. Victim support, you mean shaming them? Yeah, it's crazy.
Vida was mentioned.
Yes, he was. You never did file a report against him, did you?
I started one and then I checked.
That's a yes or a no question. That is not an essay question.
No.
But he doesn't do that. He's got no interest in educating kids. Yeah, if you're the adult in this situation, you shouldn't be doing this, right? Nick says, if you didn't talk this way to people, you wouldn't have content, the cycle of life. Well, I don't know. I think he deserves to get humiliated. Yeah, he's got no interest in educating kids. He gets off on this. I mean, I might not disagree with you the more I hear from him. It's a yes or no question. Yeah, seriously. Also, most victims don't report their abusers, and part of it is because of how emotionally taxing it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. He'd have such an idea that grooming survivors are like reformed addicts. It's so tough getting away and out of that cycle. Yeah. Oh, you're the person that Lio told to KYS themselves in a live stream. As mentioned in a video, interesting. And to recognize what's been done to warp your mindset for relationships. Yeah, that's true. There's like really unhealthy ways of thinking that people can get into. And it takes a really long time for a person to kind of work that backwards and work out of it.
I had spoken with
No.
some people, but
With some people. Who are some people?
I believe it was a deputy sheriff in his area.
And what did they tell you?
I believe they told me to keep contact with them and that we were going to do another call to go over everything, but I never did that.
For this section of the call, I want to clarify that I was in the process of attempting to file a police report against Vida. However, after the first call from my initial report, I panicked out of fear of my parents finding out, and out of stress of having to recount and present the trauma that I went through to the police, leading to me not following through with this report. After this call, I chose to reach out again to file a full report to the police, and this time I went through with it completely.
During all this, he's preying on another child. You're
This is the same exact sentiment Lio had shared to other victims, myself included, eventually backtrack, but to appease me rather than being sorry. Wow. So Barbie says, exactly, Star. Especially as a kid, I do feel horrible for people subject to grooming. I work with survivors with Larry Nassar. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's got to be a whole thing to unpack. That's got to be a whole thing to unpack. Your doctor. Holy shit. And the worst thing he did was make himself be the trustworthy adult sneaking them food. Dude, that's so that is absolutely so I can't even imagine. Yeah, damn, dude. That's so up. Yeah, it's really, really hard for people to get out of these like circular ways of thinking. And also, like, I think it's almost a human instinct to kind of put the blame on yourself, because in a way it makes people feel better that they have their own like agency. It's kind of a coping mechanism, but it doesn't work, right? People will put the blame on themselves and, you know, kind of to cope and be like, yeah, I do have control of the situation. But like really, in reality, like you didn't, you know, you didn't. And there's nothing you could have done, you know, that would have changed that. But I don't know. It's lots to unpack. Your doctor, your team doctor, you want to trust that even if it feels wrong, it's not. You'd find none of the other survivors blame each other. Yeah, it's terrible. That's terrible. No, this is so terrible. This deep sea monster sent me a meme. Okay, well, okay, they want me to wait. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And that's who you're going to when you're not feeling good either.
facilitating it. Then you hide it from us. So not only have you hidden your interactions with Vida, you hide the fact that he's preying on yet another child. Then you hide it from us. So not only have you hidden your interactions with Vida, you hide the fact that he's preying on yet another child. Why?
I feel like this comment from Lio is incredibly unnecessary. I understand the risk I put the person in, and that them being groomed by Vida is something that could have happened due to my actions, and I still deeply regret it. However, they were never groomed, abused, or anything along those lines by Vida. The two simply played video games together and chatted. So it's really, really distressing that Lio would ever simply imply that I would try to put someone in the same position I'm in. It's not fair for him to say or do this, especially when it is not what happened.
Don't tell me you don't know.
Dude.
If you say that, I'm going to genuinely lose my mind on you.
I did not want to deal with the repercussions of my actions back then.
You didn't mind doing it. You just didn't want
The footnotes annoy me so much as Peaches got so much information wrong and used it to victimize himself when Jibz is the person who has been wronged here. Yeah, wow.
the consequences. But you like talking to a guy who likes to put his hands or wants to put his hands on children, slips into their DMs. I'm such a lesbian, I wouldn't like a guy.
This was and is a very distressing point that was repeatedly made during my time in Senate and DMs with Lio. It also really shows that, despite having handled several grooming cases and communicating with the victims, Lio does not seem to fully understand how grooming works and what it does to a person. Lio equated me being groomed and taken advantage of by a man to me being attracted to men and thus being straight, invalidating my identity as a lesbian at the time. There's a big difference between being groomed and an actual genuine attraction to someone and building a relationship. Lio and others in the Senate would invalidate that and say that I'm straight now because of my grooming, which is so distressing and disheartening even now looking back on it, that they would both invalidate my sexuality and try to equate my grooming to an actual relationship.
No, because grooming, like, part of that is, that makes no sense. Like, tell me you don't know anything about grooming without telling me you don't know anything about grooming. Like, a groomer doesn't just give somebody sexual attention, right? They use other methods. They use, like, validation, and they give somebody emotional support. These are not the only ways that a groomer takes advantage and uses, like, builds a relationship with somebody. If you're not getting positive reinforcement from anywhere else, you know, I don't know what to say. Right? Doesn't he sound like he's actually yelling at every lesbian who's ever turned him down? True! Grooming and interacting with groomers has nothing to do with sexuality. Yeah. Well, imagine a cop saying that. You got SA'd by a guy, but you're a lesbian. Yeah, again, like, grooming involves so many other methods, right? Michael Jackson, I know this is going to get me into some trouble because people in the chat are going to be like, Michael Jackson didn't do anything. But Michael Jackson did buy, like, families. You know, he would buy nice things and stuff, I'm pretty sure. Like, Stardust, it's done now. Yeah, there's so many different ways that groomers can use different methods to like, manipulate their victims and stuff, right? So, all right, Deep Sea Monster sent me a meme, and so lesbians are SA'd. It's more so separating acts that away from defining sexuality. Yeah, sure, yeah. I don't know that I have the words to adequately describe anything. So anyway, sorry. Deep Sea Monster sent me this meme, which, like, what the No, Ender, that's a bad doggy. Oh my god, what a... Wow, Deep Sea Monster. This, you know, wow. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is just... Wow. I mean, it doesn't, I completely missed the part where Endo said in the video that, oh yeah, we used to bark at each other. I completely missed that until I saw it with you guys. So, oh, is Jibz in the chat? Whoa, Jibz, hi, welcome to the chat. Sorry you had to go through this. All those boys SA'd by men must be homos, right? Yeah, so true, so true. That's totally how this works. Yeah, I mean, again, groomers, you know, beyond the thing, like, what the victim is getting out of that is not thing, right? Like, the victim is getting plenty of other things out of it, not in a good way. Not to say that anything good is coming from it, but they're getting, like, if you're getting reinforcement from one place, I don't know, I'm so terrible at speaking about this. If you're getting reinforcement from one place, you're gonna, you know, and you've got the alternative, which is not getting that reinforcement. Like, yeah, it's gonna be really hard for somebody to disconnect from that. Want me to call in? Sure, we can do a quick call. Right. Let me see. Hello?
Oh,
Hello?
now I hope that I can hear that.
Hello? Oh, hello?
Hi, I'm here finally, and I remember
Hi.
I pushed to talk.
How's it going?
I was looking great. So I was looking more into grooming, and grooming, especially for victims of any sex denomination. It's a
Mhm.
really, really important thing to try to separate that from implying anything about one's like sexuality, right? Because
Yeah.
that's why gay men for such a long time were talked about like you just want to groom young men when that's not the case, when
Yeah.
it's almost all to do with having power over a vulnerable individual and seeing what you can do. It's like it's almost purely based on power and
Mhm.
control and what that does for people, right? With Larry Nasser, that's one of the specific things we saw because he hurt so many female athletes and young male gymnasts as well.
Mhm.
It was just about him being able to exert power because, you know, if you were Simone Biles and you were told, listen, if you don't go and see your doctor or your team doctor, then you don't get to compete. You have to check in with him. So you have like that atrocious scenario of Simone Biles winning gold and then having to
Yeah.
go check in with this horrible predator monster person. It's so, but
Yeah.
it's so important because him going like, and you're a lesbian is right. First off, Jibz was 19 in that phone call. How dare you talk to any 19-year-old like that?
Yeah.
So anybody who's coming out of any sort of a grooming scenario, their whole network in terms of relationships has been warped, right? Especially if they're a
Yeah.
kid. If
Yeah.
they have been in a situation with, and I don't want to speak to like just, this is very general. This isn't just Jibz. And I'm not an expert in this, but this is my general understanding. But whenever you're in a relationship, it's almost always starts out as a platonic, trusting adult child relationship, right?
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
power differential relationship.
Yeah.
And then it gets warped from being something where you feel safe and like this is another safe adult to becoming
Yeah.
something that becomes increasingly sexual or sexualized and becoming increasingly crossing those lines. And that does so much in terms of warping the way you think about yourself, the way you think about romantic relationships, the way it takes a long time to like break out of those habits where it's like getting into a healthy relationship after being in unhealthy ones for such a long time. Things that are healthy, like somebody bringing you flowers because you like it,
Mhm.
feels so uncomfortable
Like
because
there's something
someone used
insidious
to.
there.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So there's like an ulterior motive. Yeah, I could definitely see that. And just also Lio threatening to tell Jibs's parents,
Oh my God.
knowing that the family is going to would most likely be violent, right? That is just so atrocious to me that that would even be said to somebody.
Well, and I don't,
Yeah.
the thing that I find most frustrating as well is that it doesn't matter if Jibs is still or not talking to someone.
Hmm.
Getting angry at somebody for relapsing and still speaking to a groomer is not it. Because again, the reason that it's talked about like it's a cycle is because you have to work so hard to break out of things that have felt normal for almost your whole life up until then.
Yeah.
And I can only like you have to figure out how you define yourself, how you want to be in your relationships. For him to attack that and to make any implications or imply anything about being kids safe, that is first off, I hate that because it is not any survivor's job to do that. So, Jibs, big thing, that was never your job. And you should never have been made to feel like it was your job. The only thing you are ever responsible for doing is taking care of yourself after that situation. His desire to make it, I think often people who survive grooming feel like they have an obligation to try to save others.
Hmm.
There's no, that would never be the case, right? You have to work on saving yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. The whole putting blame on Jibs also is just absolutely terrible to me. And I think a huge thing also is like you think about what type of people again are most likely to fall prey to this kind of stuff, and it's going to be people with rough family lives, people who don't have basically like the support system around them, right? And knowing that Lio is berating Jibs, how is that helping? Right? If Jibs is only getting this positive reinforcement from one person and that person happens to be the groomer, then
That's
yeah.
exactly it. You're
Yeah.
exactly right. It's often, they may be the only, which sucks, right? Because then at
Yeah.
times it crosses the wires of like getting somebody who is very gentle with you, but they're being gentle while grooming you.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sucks. And it's really, really wrong. Like, Jibs, if you're still in the chat, I really hope that you're okay and safe and that you have like a support network now. This guy, you know what? Best of luck in his future endeavors. He deserves whatever is coming to him. That is all that I can say that would be polite, truly. But
Yeah.
there is nothing that you could have or should have done, honestly. And I'm so sorry that he ever placed that burden on you.
Yeah, it's just wrong. Jibs in the chat says, what's interesting is that this is the second instance of Lio openly blaming me for Vida potentially being able to groom someone else. Which, that's just, and it goes back to your original point, Barbie, about what kind of training, what kind of research has he
Oh my
done
God.
in this? If he had done any at all, he would have
Any.
known better. Yeah.
Any. Isn't that, yeah, that's exactly it. Okay, good. Things got much better. Okay, that makes me
Yeah.
really, really happy. And hopefully
Yeah.
things are better with your family. But that is also, imagine knowing that. So one of the things I do is I'm a volunteer like rowing coach at one of the
Mhm.
local high schools where I'm at, because I rowed all through college and high school. And
Mhm.
one of the things that sucks is, as a coach, whenever I know that one of the kids that I coach, when their parents are going through a divorce, when they're, if their parents are having like a rough time or something else, it sucks, because as much as I want to hug them and say, sure, I will happily provide you with a place to stay, it is so inappropriate for me to do anything other than let them know that the team and practices will always be like a good, safe space for them. And
Yeah.
that if they are really in danger, I will make sure that they get out and get safe. But he crosses those boundaries so much so, and then utilizes that information against them. Like, can you
Yeah.
imagine?
It's
That's
so
my nervous laugh. It's not funny.
It's
It's my nervous
abusive in its
laugh.
own, yeah, no, it's abusive in its own way, right? You're weaponizing this person's like current grooming situation against them. You're
Yeah.
utilizing their trauma against them. It's insane to me.
It's equivalent to like, oh, so you went back to like that abusive partner and you gave that person, and as Jibz said constantly, like, I did give them info, but they weren't interested in grooming. They ended up just whatever. And
Yeah.
regardless, that is, I hate it when people put all this pressure upon a survivor, where it's like, well, did you stop them? Like, did you stop them from attacking anyone else? Right? I think you and I were talking about the Star, where it's like, that's not my job to make sure that the person who attacked me doesn't attack anyone else. Like, I'm not a vigilante. I've
Yeah.
done everything I needed to do. I survived,
Yeah.
and that's all I did. I have lots of thoughts and feelings about Poppy and Xena and Spawn, but they are neither here, like, nor there, nor anywhere.
I think
True.
look, I think chat really wants to know your opinions on that. Maybe we can do that after I finish the video on this or something.
Oh my God,
if you
yes,
want.
we absolutely
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
How many laws do you think Lio has broken? Do you think anyone can go after him in court, setting B in legal or civil? So that's a great question. So I like saying I'm a lawyer. I'm not anyone in here's lawyer. And this is like a free analysis, meaning that it's worth what you pay for. So there are laws that Lio has broken. Doxing or harassment or bullying are all things that in varied states there are definitely statutes against those things. I don't know what state he's located in, but it's almost always dependent upon the state of the recipient as well. So that really depends. But even if that was the case, for it to be civil, I would have to know, like, if he had stolen monies or if he had done something else so someone could be suing him for breach of contract, maybe. So the arrestment for doxing, I don't know. That's really dependent upon the states of the victims and if they choose to like report those things as well. But I think that but there are charges in some states for people mangling criminal cases and essentially obstructing police work as well. So for him to be doing all this is just a wild thing, especially whenever he's mangled it to the point of like,
Yeah.
you have, like, let's say that there was a criminal case against Josh Vida, and you've just yelled at Jibz like this. And now Jibz doesn't want to testify against Josh Vida, meaning that prosecution has lost an immensely important witness and like survivor of it. And the way he was speaking about it, if he talks to other victims like this, it is an insane thing to think of, like, you have just made it so nobody wants to testify and nobody wants to come forward. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
If he did file any false police reports, they can always report that. That wouldn't be civil. That would be, you would have to come in and state you filed a false police report, and that would also usually result in a fine or some sort of a misdemeanor offense. I wanted out Vida going on a rant on how I don't have the tools or resources while he was doing Jibz. That's what makes me so upset, because it doesn't take any effort to read about things or go over. I even just did like refresh my recollection, like for the national Center for Sexual Assault Resources and other things. It makes me so upset that he was like yelling at you and thinking that it is at all appropriate to say that you don't have the tools or resources when, yeah, of course you don't, because you're the victim of it. Like,
Yeah.
what are you supposed to be doing? And then him pretending that he did, the fact that he held himself out as any sort of an expert to you, I, of course, want to charge him in the court of the internet, which there is no such thing, but it is an insane thing for him to have done that. And he misled a lot of people, and that is unconscionable and should
Yeah.
absolutely be worth
I
like,
think
being dragged for.
Honestly, I think that was probably one of the best points that you've brought up about this entire thing, is like the very fact that he has marketed himself for so long as a predator hunter, but did no research to the point where he didn't even know that these classes existed. It would be one thing if like a normal person didn't know these classes existed, but he literally marketed himself as a predator hunter. He made it his personality. It's just absolutely insane to me.
Even that first line where he's like, yeah, I guess I have just become a predator hunter for 5 or 6 years. No, you haven't. I mean, when you and I spoke about like, these would be good questions to ask, like, what is his educational background? And then I never thought he could actually say that he had none, because that is actually giving me goosebumps thinking of like how underprepared you are. That's like saying, I'm going to go hunt sharks and I don't even know how to swim. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But it sucks because he may have filed police reports, but he certainly didn't do it in the right jurisdictions for any of these people. He certainly didn't do it in a way that would have collected and gathered information. Also, for anyone confused, you are, of course, allowed to file a police report containing an IP address. Absolutely. And that is not doxing when you report it saying this person is attacking me or doing something. Please be aware of that if you're gathering up that information.
Yeah. But somebody brought up a great point that he didn't even know that RAIN existed. Like, how do you not even know that it exists as an organization?
Or know that it's just like, it's one of the most basic things where I'm in my 30s, but one of the things that we all learned during like sexual education health is like, if you for any reason think that something has maybe happened that is untoward, or you feel even like a little bit icky about, just call this hotline. Like our high school made us memorize that for such a long time, because it's Canadian, it's international, it's all over the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
It's just such an easy way to go in and just ask for help. That's like one of the number one things where even mandatory reporters will call in and ask, am I doing the right thing? But it's still insane, though. It was insane. And hopefully, Jibz, him getting embarrassed was like in some way, shape, or form, like really cathartic for you. But I would love to hear, like, how did you recognize or even realize what the grooming was? Like, is he telling people you're being groomed or making these diagnoses? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, how many kids came to him and said, I think I've been groomed? And was he defining it or figuring it out and then saying, don't worry, we'll just report it immediately? Or did the kids come to him and say, like, how did that even work? Was it all like a Discord and he would diagnose it? I'm so curious as to how exactly that happened.
Yeah, I would be curious about that too. Like, I'm assuming that a lot of these people were kind of finding out the signs for themselves, and then they would go to him for help with that or something like that. That's kind of like what I'm assuming, but I could be wrong. Romantic Goblin in the chat says, some people he turned away because he didn't have beef with what their alleged groomers, I guess. I've heard that before as well. Yeah. Okay. Jibz. Yeah. I figured out over time with being with Vida, I found out about Lio's existence from Jordan, because Jordan was telling me how he was planning on calling my parents.
What is up with him calling people's parents so much? I don't know if I'm a well-balanced adult, if I'm a well-balanced child, an internet stranger calling my parents, never. Never.
Yeah, he did just tell Peaches that she was groomed, so I think he's diagnosing them, but he's probably getting them wrong half the time. I know that the Peaches one was pretty messy. Yeah, if Jibz wants to call in, feel free. It's in there's the Discord server, and we can do that. People
With the
love
authority
you, by the
figures.
way. People love you in the chat. It's awesome. Yeah.
I will always come in as like your friendly, like your Mr. Rogers lawyer who just comes in
Yeah.
occasionally or whatever else, because I could never
That's
do
so
content
awesome.
creation. It would make me way too anxious.
Well, I appreciate it. I feel like I have learned just so much, just like from interacting with you. So I really do appreciate it. And also getting so much.
Definitely way more fun to see, like, yeah, you were doing great with the drama stuff, but I really liked how comfortable you made him with how he started revealing all of these things. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry, Zaj, if you asked a question. You said, I don't know. I'm trying to look at the chat right now.
Let me see. I gotta stop doing the uhs and the ums. Star, I have a question for Barbie. What's more appropriate for when doxing is happening, like they got cops on you with no criminal background? I would think that's just falls under doxing, right? Like that's just like harassment.
I'm curious. So when you say that, do you mean he swatted you? Or do you mean he's called and filed a police report with your information or released it out there? Maybe you'll have like a better description then.
Yeah. Also, this is a pretty good point from Newbie YouTube channel. Lio claiming Rosa has agency when he threatened Rosa and denied her request to leave, and she complied with his requests. Like, is there not more of there's not more of like a demonstration of somebody who doesn't have agency as somebody who like legitimately gives their agency up to you while you're threatening.
You keep asking, and then you say, "No, you can't leave until I say you're done." What? Like, yeah that is.
Pudgy says for $5, by the way, base Barbie W. So let's see.
So
yeah.
Oh, swatting. So if somebody swats you, that's an illegal offense, right? Because it's misuse of police funds usually. So whenever you do that, or whenever that does happen, again, this is jurisdiction by jurisdiction and police department by police department. If after the fact you haven't been hurt in any way and you're able to prove I was swatted, this is who I think that it was. Sometimes things can happen. Just it's the difficulty of connecting who called in that threat and what they did it for, and demonstrating or demonstrably proving that it was done for the express purpose of causing that harm. There was a case in which I believe teens got convicted of murder when they called in a SWAT on their friend over Call of Duty. But I think that that's an incredibly rare example of that happening, just because there was so much evidence in favor demonstrating the toll and demonstrating that it was obviously like this one teen and calling the cops, and then immediately resulting in the swatting. And I think that it was on camera or something else. Let me look that up. Swatting case results in murder conviction. And I think that the reason that case happened was because it was, there's even like in the 2017 Wichita swatting. That's in, okay, maybe this is it. Oh, deadly okay, so this is at Andrew Finch. He was shot. They received a fatal emergency call stating that a shooting had occurred. Oh, that's so interesting. So Casey Viner and Shane Gaskill were playing Call of Duty, and they argued over a bet worth $1.50. And then Viner chose to swat Gaskill. So Viner turned to Tyler Barris, a man in LA known for swatting. And because Gaskill had given Viner an incorrect home address, Barris sent police to where Andrew Finch lived, like by accident. Which and then resulted in like his death. So Barris, who made the fake emergency call, accepted guilt on like 51 charges, and he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. And then Viner, the gamer who asked Barrow to make the call, pleaded guilty to conspiracy and was sentenced to 15 months behind bars. So even the person who shared his address pleaded guilty to conspiracy and received a 5-year sentence. So yeah, swatting does have legal consequences, but it's so varied, and you really need a strong connection to demonstrate that. And told them about it, and they were aware. They may get call. They did get a call, but instead of coming, yeah, okay, that's good. Young Black economist, that's really, really good.
Yeah,
they're trying to be better. Again, I think the biggest thing that I can say is that the law is almost always, as much as it tries to catch up with technology, it is almost always 5 years, if not more, behind. And whenever one becomes or goes into law school, you lose your common sense and any ability to understand a lot of technological advances, in particular with gaming. Those things are just taken from you. It's like a weird
Yeah.
eldritch exchange. No common sense for a long time. So when you discuss these things, we're trying to think of it in like an archaic, almost like a backwards discussion and or backwards, like with backwards or wrong technology. But yeah, swatting should absolutely have a consequence. It's just the idea that gets messy is so often doing things like that and having it cross so many state lines.
Yeah. I mean, funny enough that you say that, because I feel like the same thing happens to doctors as soon as they start going to medical school. Like all knowledge of technology like flies out the window. I don't know what it is, and then like they're the worst
None
people.
None of it. Have no like. Can't think of anything.
Yeah.
I was working in a case with a large group of, and they're not kids, they're like 18 or 22.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
said, yeah, we'll just have a big old Discord group call. We can have that be private. And I said, no, we can't. Phone calls over the internet are never private. They are never
Yeah.
granted any privacy. It is only
Yeah.
over phone to phone calls. And they were like, what do you mean it's never granted privacy? And I said, I mean, unless it is a landline connecting another, or an internet, like a phone connecting another phone, that ain't it, sis. And they were kind of shocked, which was understandable, because they said, well, what about the encrypted text messaging systems? And I said, just assume nothing's encrypted. It's better to assume nothing's encrypted and everything can be seen.
Yeah.
It's all seen. Yeah, you can definitely finish the call tonight via semaphore. Are you talking about those giant, like, hands attached to cords? Probably not, but God only knows. No, so I can definitely mute. I hope Jibz does come up, or if they feel like empowered doing it or whatnot. But also, what is Lio's adopted child Jordan's pronouns? Because I think I called them she and then they, but I don't know if I got that correct or not.
I think everybody is he, him. All of the
Okay.
children are he, him. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, one last question for you. What law books do you recommend reading from Vibrush?
God, a lot. I will not put them in the chat. I will tweet them out. That'll be so much easier. It depends on, like, what kind of like an understanding do you want, and what kind of like what area of law? Because there's so many niche areas. You can definitely get into bird law if you like, though. I have a bird law book.
Wait, really? Is that for real? Or is that like
Avian and animal law, especially whenever California condors are some of the most legally protected birds in the world. And because they are so legally protected, and because they have so many legal protections, their access to airspace is almost unlimited, no matter
That's so
where
cool.
it is.
I didn't know bird law was real. I thought it was just a meme. That's so awesome.
It's just in general underneath like the general animal protection or animal rights. But in particular, whenever you have, so let's say that you have a flock of endangered birds and they fly from California to Nevada, that bird law protects them no matter what. Like, you still can't key them, you can't kill them, you can't put them down. Wow. I think there was something on Twitter a few years ago where these giant like condors all landed on a woman's deck and just wrecked it, like made it look like it was a massive party just to ruin it.
Wow.
Yeah, I see that, Bubby. I don't really care to talk about criminal defense things or anything else like that, but I appreciate you asking that. We can definitely do bird law as much as possible.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. That's just so cool. But yeah, I should probably get back to this video, but
please do. I'm gonna mute myself and I'm gonna bow out. But yeah, your other things, Jibz, I'm really glad you're okay. If anyone ever comes to you and says, hey, I was also groomed, you have every right to say, I am not a resource. I am not anything else. And if you have a question, I'll just be in the chat and I'll just like come up and talk to you. Don't worry about it. But just point them towards RAIN, truly, or point them towards the national resources for sexual assault survivors. And there are 1,000 RAIN hubs or centers all over the US. Even they're everywhere. So bye.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
See ya. That was awesome. Maybe one of these, either if we have time after this, or maybe if we don't have time after this, maybe another day. I would love to get Barb's opinions on the Poppy and Xena stuff. I know she's very opinionated on that too. So that would be cool. I know she was like as shocked by everything in it as I was. RAIN, 2 N's, yes. Yes, Rain is an excellent resource, even just for somebody who's browsing casually. You can go to the website and you'll just see like all sorts of resources available to you. Okay, I promised to look at this meme on stream, so I'll show the meme. This is from Deep Sea Monster. It's like from South Park. You guys remember the South Park World of Warcraft guy who's just like sitting there and clicking? This is Lio on his way to bully children and disable people. Good. Okay, let's see this.
But you still have him in your life. Even after we tell you explicitly that that is unacceptable. After you thank us for getting you away from him, but you didn't actually get away from him. You just lied to everybody who cared enough to try to help you. And I swear to God, if the rest of you sit quiet this entire call, I'm going to remove every single one of you from staff. You people better start.
What the? What? Okay, not only is he yelling at Jibz, now he starts yelling at everybody else in the call. Are you serious? Are you really? It's not enough for you to get upset at the victim. Now you have to get upset at everybody else in the call too. What is going on? What is going on? We should just start a whole Twitter tag of Lio memes. Hashtag just Lio things. How about that? Hashtag just Lio things. Scared my dog awake. My goodness.
Opening your light to everybody who cared enough to try to help you. And I swear to God, if the rest of you sit quiet this entire call, I'm going to remove every single one of you from staff. You people better start opening your mouths instead of leaving it to me every single time. I'm sick of it. Every time we're doing something like this, every single time we have to handle this, I'm the only one doing it. Knock it off! If you don't want to handle stuff like this, leave!
I would like to raise the point that I did inform Lio and everyone else that people shouting at and around me is a significant trigger for me. It not only impacts me emotionally by increasing my anxiety, but also affects me on a physical level as I have POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome.
Oh, who would have thought that POTS would make an appearance? That is actually super interesting. Yeah, stress can do a lot of things to people. And especially if you have like a pre-existing medical condition, it can definitely affect you. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
When people shout around me, it can cause my heart rate to spike, which can lead to me experiencing heart attack-like symptoms and even passing out.
It's terrible.
Despite this, for a warning, Lio shouted around me throughout this call. Another thing to note is that this call, in the context of all the other calls I was the center of, was quite tame, as surprising as that might sound. The behavior, specifically that of yelling, and other calls that I was a part of was a lot worse than this one, and again, there's no excuse for it.
Oh, I have stuff to say later, but no.
Really? You gave him another person. Hello?
Who is this? Who's this person speaking right now?
I don't know why I did. I genuinely don't
You don't know. You don't know.
Really? You gave him another person? Really? That's the line that you want to say? What a class act. Who is this person? Who said this?
No, you do know. You just don't want to say it. Again, none of us are shaming you for anything. The truth.
Yes, you are. None of us are shaming you for any. Yes. Yes, you are. Yes. This is when the peanut gallery starts attacking Jibz. These are people who are listening like Rosa's. Wow. Wow.
Right now is as good as any.
You can't just float around in life going, oh,
Okay.
I don't know why I did this. I don't know why I did that. Jibz, stop it.
One point I would like to add here is that even with my story being dragged out, with the preface that is going to be censored, they failed to do even that. As you
Did Lio really bully other people into bullying a victim? This is it. Yes, absolutely. He does this on the regular. It's nuts.
can hear, my name is mentioned here. So firstly, they took my story without consent. Secondly, they had no permission from me to do such a thing. If they had ever asked, I would have outright denied them because I didn't want this to be out there. And thirdly, they didn't even censor it correctly. They failed in every single aspect. Something that I would also like to add is that I would like it if my statements and experiences were separated from Peach's, Lumi's, and Cosmic's experiences as much as possible.
And I think that's really important for him to say, because obviously the reason why this was leaked was because Peaches wanted to use it in defense of themselves. So it makes a lot of sense that Jibz would want to come out and give this statement and say, you know, I want my experience to be separate from anybody else's. I don't want to be tied to Peaches. You know, Peaches is using this as defense. So yeah, Peaches leaked this call without Jib's consent.
Not only did I not approve of them sharing what I went through, but I did not and would never have approved of them using it in order to prove their own point, since they lacked evidence for some of their personal claims and saw my call as the next best thing. Also, Lio did indeed apologize to me for this call. Emphasis on this call, and only this call. But only after he was told to do so by Peaches. As of now, the only message I have received from Lio reads, "I'm sorry you got used as a cudgel against me. Genuinely."
What? That's not a apology. That's not an apology at all. What is going on? What is going on here? I'm sorry you got used as a cudgel against what? Not I'm sorry for victim blaming you. I'm sorry for potentially blaming you or making you feel bad about any potential future abuse victims. I'm sorry for shaming you for relapsing. Nothing. Wow. Okay. In what world is that an apology? I don't know. I don't know. It's not an apology. Stardust, it gets worse. You've got to be kidding me. I'm sorry my abuse against you was brought up publicly. That's so, oh my God. That's actually sickening. That's actually sickening. It's terrible.
The more you just don't say it, it's gonna get worse for you. If you just come out about it right now, it'll be
Like,
a lot better for you.
There is a saying, the truth will set you free. It's gonna set you free right now if you just come out about it. Really.
I genuinely don't know why I gave him.
No, I'm not gonna take that. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna take that answer.
Did you just want Raven to feel like how you did?
No, that's definitely not. I'm pretty sure he just asked me for it, and I just.
And you just gave her up to him.
But why? Why did you give them the
You don't do things
information?
without thinking. You had a motive.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Raven is the person that whose information was given to Vida. Then it had apparently minor mods. Yeah, that's what they said in this.
Did he threaten you?
And you just gave. Did you?
Missy Drip speaking was modded as a minor in Senate and is themselves 18 years old in this call. Lio would normalize a lot of bad stuff with Missy, as well as encouraging them to draw sexual art to his taste. This is a note not done by Jibz. This note has been done by Peaches. So take it with a grain of salt. Okay? Take it with a grain of salt. But it's pretty Romantic Goblin says, I will say Missy Drip never drew sexualized art. Okay, so this was like a Peaches inflation then. Yeah. Yeah, don't trust anything that these notes, like this one is a Peaches note. Peaches notes are not to be trusted, basically. Missy has stated that the statement is completely false. Okay. All right.
Just want Raven to feel like how you did?
Yeah, see, this person says, you just want Raven to feel how you did? Wait, is Raven the person whose information was given to Vida? And if that's the case, why the f do they act like they care about Raven? I heard the call between Raven and Lio. I heard the call. You guys remember the call? I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard it. I listened to it off stream. But there was a call where Lio was, again, was berating Raven in a call, right, like crazy. Oh, is it a different Raven? My bad. I didn't realize it was a different Raven. My bad. No, I don't doubt that Senate has minor members, or used to have minor members. I don't doubt that at all. There's 3 different Ravens in the Senate lore? My bad. If you can say, I don't recall in court, you can say it in a Discord call. True. Okay, let me rewind just a tiny bit.
Don't know why.
About right now, it'll be
Like,
a lot better for you.
There is a saying, the truth will set you free. It's gonna set you free right now if you just come out about it. Really.
I genuinely don't know why I gave him.
No, I'm not gonna take that. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna take that answer.
Did you just want Raven to feel like how you did?
No, that's definitely not. I'm pretty sure he just asked me for it, and I just.
And you just gave her up to him.
But why? Why did
Gave
you give
her
them
up
the
to him.
information?
Things without thinking. You
Gave her up to him? Like, what? What kind of framing is this? You gave her up to him. Wow, okay.
had a motive.
Yeah.
That's heavily loaded.
Did he threaten you or something? Is that what it was?
I genuinely don't.
Yes, you
Oh
do.
my god.
Just say it.
I want to know what exactly it is about Vida you find so appealing.
What is it with, like, the Senate people and not taking an answer for an answer? Not taking I don't know for an answer. Not taking I'm sorry as an actual apology. Not taking anything. Not taking any answer at its face value. What is it with them? Why? Why are they acting like Jibz is the only one to save another grooming victim? All these people were aware of the groomer. Couldn't they have helped potential victims also? Well, it's not on Jibz. It's not Jibz's responsibility. And Jibz shouldn't hold himself responsible for any potential future victims. That is not on Jibz whatsoever. Oh, White Narissa, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Support your local streamers. True, chat. Remember to like the stream. Stardust, the only one who gave up kids to a PDF is Endo, leaving the manager and another friend behind, with Neko knowing what she was doing. I don't even want to go that far, Deep Sea Monster. Look, I don't want to even go that far. I find Endo incredibly hypocritical because Endo was so harsh on Rosa while having taken part and aided Neko in a much more active way than Rosa ever did. So I don't think that that's fair to put the responsibility of any other victims on somebody. So I was lucky I took my melatonin, I swear to God. That was so good. Damn. It's just Endo can go f themselves, full stop, quote me. Damn.
You apparently found him appealing enough to just trample over everybody who cares about you. Well, tell me, what about him is worth it? I want to know. Tell me. Do you want me to yell at you like I just did the rest of my staff?
No.
I recommend you stop hushing and you start talking.
What is with all these threats? I'm gonna tell your parents, and there's gonna be some violence. You know, now you want me to yell at you like I yelled at Senate? Well, you already, I yell at you like I yelled at the rest of my staff. Okay, you already yelled at him like you yelled at the rest of your staff. Maybe chill a little bit. Maybe chill a little bit.
I am so 100% done with this level of callous.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be insensitive or anything. I just Lio is such a man-child.
Stupidity. I am 100% done with it. Oh
my God. I am 100% done with it. I am so done with this stupidity. I am 100% done with it. Sorry.
I've been as patient as humanly possible with literally everyone concerning all their nonsense, and you are sitting here right now wearing that 100% thin. Start.
What is this? What is this? I am so done with this. I am so done with this. I have given so many people so much. What? Patient. Yeah, patient is a lie.
Talking. You can talk to a person who wants to dick down little girls. You better start talking to me.
Whoa! I'm sorry. What the f was that? Screaming at a victim like an actual 10-year-old. Wow. It gets worse. You cannot. Seriously? It gets worse than that? Seriously? I'm sorry. That was just way too intense for me to have the banana mode on. This is where it gets worse. Okay, yeah, I should have done the banana mode earlier. Wow. Sean, I am so done with this Taco Bell. My God, dude. What call is this? A Jibz call. Okay. Just one more time and then I'll stop, okay? One more time and then I'll stop. I am so done with this Taco Bell. I am so done with this Taco Bell.
Now, wearing that 100% thin. Start talking. You can talk to a person who wants to dick down little girls. You better start talking to me.
It's
Another
disgusting.
point I want to make is that during the time when Lio was proposing the idea of helping me, and I do agree that he has helped me, he did help me with my recovery process against my abuser. Behind closed doors, he used very sexually explicit language to describe me and how my abuser saw me. One of the prime examples, which I don't have proof for as of yet, due to it being a private call, but I will be going through and trying to get my hands on all of the archived calls, is that he would say that I'm just a human fleshlight to Vida. I don't
That's
know
so
how
gross.
anyone would ever be able to say that to a human being, let alone a victim of grooming. Another point I want to make regarding handing over this Discord user's name to my abuser is that I tried my best to break off all communications between them. Again, I deeply regret what I did. I was struggling at the time and I wanted to make amends for my mistake, which I did in the end, even if it ended
A human fleshlight. Okay, nothing more that a victim needs than to be, like, completely dehumanized, right? Completely dehumanized by somebody that they trusted and went to. Ma, thank you so much for the $4.99. Very much appreciated. I hope everyone stays hydrated, eat a snack, and stay safe, y'all. Yeah, wow. He said that to Jibz when he was a minor, too. That is incredibly... That is just unacceptable. I'm sorry. That is just unacceptable.
Ended up in the actions in this call.
He gave me attention and the validation that I wanted back then. And
Yeah, I figured it was like, yeah, attention and validation, right? What kind of people generally fall prey to this, right? Again, vulnerable people, people who probably are not getting those things from their family. They're probably not getting it from anybody else in their lives. And then they end up getting it from the worst person possible, right? How this person is not getting validation or attention or positive reinforcement from anybody else. They get it from one person, and then the one time that they confess to relapsing, the person that's supposed to help them gives them the opposite, gives them negative everything. That is just crazy. Jibz said, the very first call I had with Lio, which was recorded, has Lio calling me Vida's newest plaything when I was 16 as well. That's terrible. That's terrible. It's just gross, really. It just is so gross. That is... Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's not just kids, right, Nicholas? It's not just kids, right? It's specifically kids who don't have support systems around them. That's like very vulnerable kids who fall prey to this kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Jibz, I hope you know that you deserve so much more, and you do not deserve to be talked to this way. And the way that Lio allowed this to happen and facilitated it is incredibly disgusting, and is a reflection of how terrible of a person he is. So
not every time I would try to cut him off, I would just feel like for a while, and I didn't want to have to deal with that.
But now you magically can't remember why. Could it be because he was more interested in...
No, because but there was a point in which he had sent me messages of him talking to, and I told you guys that I suspected that was talking to him because of behaviors, and then that cold call happened.
To all of us.
Yes.
Did
I even had a call with you right after. I even had a call with you right after that. Like, you know, well, in the middle of that one, you know, I asked, is there literally anything you could tell us? And then we got into a private call afterwards where I asked you again, and you just didn't tell me. You didn't tell me.
Did imply that she wanted to be with Vida or something?
No. Raven just was in the logs was just continuously wanting to be friends with Vida and play video games with him.
Why?
I don't know why.
And you didn't discourage it. You didn't say, ew, gross, he's a...
I hadn't directly told me she'd been talking with Vida. I only know because I had screenshots from Vida. And
there's another thing here to be said. Oh, White Bowser, thank you so much for the $1.99. If you said that in front of parents, it's on site. Another thing to be said here is I'm willing to bet that saying like, ew, gross, that person's a PDF file isn't going to be too effective against somebody who is, if this other person truly is a victim, which I've heard that they aren't, but saying, ew, gross, that person's a PDF file, if they're truly somebody who's starved for positive validation in their life, probably not going to matter that much to them. Like if they are that starved for positive attention or positive reinforcement or anything, right? So there's also, I will say, Lio has gone at people for doing what he did to Jibz. Yeah, that's nuts. Welcome, Binks. Hi, Ray. Yeah, but they aren't going to do it to me. Or, yeah, that's just something that people say, or... Yeah. Everyone like this stream. What is wrong with you? Press the like button. Yeah, Jibz, you deserve, you know, positive reinforcement. You deserve more than this kind of, you know, berating and this kind of dogpiling. You deserve much more, and I hope that you are able to view yourself in a positive light going forward, and that you're working on having like or that you have a safe space that you could be in. So groomers could be the one adult who stopped a kid from doing a Minecraft and help them in some genuine way, only to poison it. Yeah, that's like such a huge part to remember in all this. That's such a huge part, right? That groomers are not just grooming people without offering something that that child or that person is not receiving, right? Something that they need. So yeah.
I messaged her saying, hey, if you are talking to Vida, you shouldn't be, and I hope you tell me about something like that. I sent this.
Lio, make your hairline continue receding and your toys continue to break. I hope every door that Lio opens does the most annoying noise in the world. I hope his chair is always creaky. I hope his chair constantly sounds like, if he moves in it, I hope it sounds like he's farting. That would be so funny. I hope it's loud enough to be picked up by a mic too.
Screenshots to Sarah.
You're still in contact.
Yeah, Lio has all of them. I gave them all to him.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, I'm quiet because I'm trying to think about what I'm gonna say next without.
Because my thing here is that regardless of like the context of what you tell us, regardless, you didn't inform any of us about it. You just let it happen. You let it happen.
You sit on it for a year and a half.
It's unacceptable.
Are you still in contact with
Her added, but we haven't talked in a while.
That is not what I just asked you. I'm sorry. At what point did I say that I needed the specific details of everything? I just asked if you're still in contact. That's a yes or no.
The questions Lio asked me were not simple yes or no questions. There are no
they weren't.
straightforward answers because this situation is complicated. There are going to be nuances which are simple to understand, honestly. For Lio to reduce such a complex situation and shout at me because I didn't give the answers he wanted to hear just isn't okay.
Yes.
Message her right now and you get her in this server. Because if you don't, in the next hour, I will find her again and I will call her parents on this call, live.
Can I have an invite to this?
Wait, what? What is this threat now?
Because if you don't,
yes,
message her right now and you get her in this server. Because if you don't, in the next...
Is this the person? Message her right now? Oh, to Raven, okay.
Hour, I will find her again and I will call her parents on this call, live.
Can I have an invite to the server?
Sarah?
I can get it.
So you're telling all of this now because you just feel bad because of all the stuff that went down with Coyote?
Stuff that went down with Coyote because Vida was brought up just reminded me of a lot of things. Because I hadn't had my mind.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Lio and threatening to call people's parents. Stupid. He's like, I've got plenty of parents who like it when I call them. Like, yeah, they're probably telling you that because they don't want this freak calling them a second time. Like, how the f did this person even get my number? Why are you, as a grown man, talking to my child on the internet? What is going on?
I've done it for a while.
It must be really nice to just be reminded of it because it hasn't been on your mind, whereas I, right down the hallway, am dealing with somebody who is still affected by his actions. It must be really freaking nice. It must be nice and cozy in your college dorm. Living a pretty happy life, all things considered, after you throw another child to a predator.
Oh, a really happy life. Living in your college dorm with no, positive reinforcement, getting yelled at by, a group call. Yeah, your cozy life in your college dorm. Wow, what the kind of sentence is this? What is going on?
Keep talking to him, pussy.
I can't even believe that these sentences are coming out of Lio's mouth. Stars, funnily enough, there is a video where Lio does get in contact with someone's mom and the mom starts yelling at him. Wait, for real? Can somebody link that to me? I need to see that. Lio, what are you going to say about Endo leaving people behind with Neko? That's a good question. Yeah, I need to see that. If somebody's mom, that's so badass, honestly. But
I guess you just really like that 2-inch erect dick.
Ew! What is wrong with you? Why would you say that? You really like that 2-inch erect dick. What is wrong with you? Disgusting. That is so disgusting. Stop talking to kids about I mean, to be fair, I think Jibz is 18 at this point, but it's still inappropriate. Incredibly inappropriate. Deep Sea Monster, if you have a link to that, I would love to see that. Yeah, who would say sexual things to a groomed victim? I don't know. It's disgusting. That's disgusting. It's like you're already yelling at them.
This is one of the points that is truly devastating, and that unfortunately was brought up multiple times outside of this call. That he thinks that I've gone over my abuser when I haven't, and uses Jordan's grooming to diminish mine.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like an ongoing struggle, right? Especially if this was something that happened in recent years and happened while your brain was still developing. I was 18 in this call, though he did talk about Vita's dick often in front of both of me and Raven when we were both minor. Yeah, I mean, and even if you were 18, again, it's still incredibly inappropriate for him to, one, be even talking to you this way, and two, for him to be, like, also throwing that in with him berating you and letting the peanut gallery berate you, right? As if it wasn't bad enough that everybody's verbally berating you. Then he has thrown, I bet you, you know, whatever 2-inch dick or whatever, right? Like, is that not a knife in it? Like, that's like a verbal knife in you. That is just so terrible. So terrible. Unacceptable. You know, for somebody who said, who threatened Rosa, I will steal your essence. Like, and now talking about Vita's 2-inch cock, I'm starting to think he knows what stealing essence means, okay? Yeah, I'm starting to side with Barbie on this one too. I think it's possible that maybe he doesn't get off on, maybe he isn't jerking himself off on, like, on what we would typically think, right? He's just jerking himself off while yelling at people. It was a constant thing of them trying to say I was into Vida, etc. sexually is so f***ed up. That's so f***ed up. No way he doesn't enjoy making a victim cringe or react when speaking like that. No, yeah. The fact that he can yell at people and get away with it, he's probably holding his dick as he's doing this. I would not. Stars is going to be a VOD, yes. I would not be surprised if he was holding his dick the entire time he was yelling at people. Ever since I joined Senate, it was a thing of debating my sexuality by claiming I was clearly into terrible.
You can't get over your abuser that quickly. It has impacted me and still impacts me every day. The fact that someone who claims to care for victims is able to so arrogantly assume that this isn't hurting me just because I've moved into a dorm by myself.
Yeah, and that's not the case. If anything, you know, Jibz has just made a major life change and is adjusting to that major life change and is in a new place and doesn't know where to get their typical support. You know, there's their typical, like, emotional support, right? He's looking for that again, and maybe, you know, I mean, it's typical going through a life change like that. I'm gonna go to bed. Good stream, Jibz W. Yeah. Well, your Stardew file is going wild.
Even though it is very disgusting. It felt like any time I needed to talk about my abuser or anything along those lines, I was mocked. It was reduced to a joke when I needed to talk about it, to process it. What I was trying to say here was that the Coyote Lovely situation made me realize I needed to come clean about my actions rather than hide it until it inevitably is discovered.
This is disgusting.
I do have one. Are you still in contact with Vida by chance?
No,
I can't believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
I
you knew
can't.
better.
no reason to believe me. I understand.
Correct.
You lied to my face. Tell me, what's the one rule I have with everybody?
Do not lie to you.
There you do it. Trampling over literally everybody's work. So while Sarah was working on that video to expose Vida further, you were talking to him and getting all sorts of validation. How many times did you guys ERP after that? I'm curious. Tell me.
It's just disgusting.
How many
It's
more
just
voice
disgusting.
messages did he send you talking about how he wants to lick your body? Tell me. Want to know.
Why? I'm like actually disgusted by this. This is disgusting. What is wrong with people?
Now it shouldn't be a problem. Come on.
Okay, this was what was still a minor, so can you not ask those questions?
She's 18 now, and
Yeah,
they're
she's
18 now, and that's
18.
why I'm so doggone pissed.
They're 18 now. Can you not ask those questions, please?
Lastly, I had my reasons for wanting to keep all of this private. One being due to fear of backlash from Lio and Senate, another being wanting to avoid stress and focus on my studies, and the main one is that I honestly wanted and have been trying to move on from everything that occurred in and before Senate. I'm not proud of my actions during that time, and I'm also not happy with the amount of things I let slide due to my distaste for conflict or how I was treated. Another thing is that while I appreciate any apologies that I've been receiving now, it's hard for me to accept them, since they don't feel genuine considering so much time has passed since these events. Time which all these people could have used, and some people have used, to apologize to me previously. Not just for this call, but for the overall treatment I received while in Senate. I do think aspects of Senate and those in it helped, and I'm grateful for that, and for the times in which I was offered comfort. But that does not excuse or make up for the ways that I was repeatedly mistreated in that server.
That's terrible. That's just disgusting. Honestly. In Lio's logic, he sexually harassed Jibz. That is true. That is true. That is disgusting. That is actually disgusting.